aloha and welcome to this live Healing Moments program with Karinna Nielsen. And I'm so happy to have everybody here. And before we begin, we're just going to take some nice deep breaths. And I'm going to do an opening prayer to welcome everybody in. So just sit where you are. The Healing Moments program brings a spiritualist perspective to what's happening in our lives and in the world. As we tune into our hearts and delve into our healing journeys, we evolve into the new dimensional energies. So our topic today is go beyond what you know. And we're going to talk more about that in a minute. So just sit where you are and take some nice deep breaths and imagine golden particles above your crown chakra. And as you breathe in through your nose, just draw those particles in your mind's eye through the crown chakra and down into your heart, and just hold it there for a minute. And then exhale and just keep breathing as I call upon the light of the Creator, the Christ light, the Goddess Weave of Love, and all the beautiful guidance energies of Master Guide Kiro, Master Fred Sterling, Master Imhotep, the Mother Allura and the Lemurian Goddess Weave, the angels, the guides, the guardian lights, and the higher selves of everyone joining us here live and those coming in on the recording later to join us now to create a mastermind of love and healing light. We offer this complete program in its heartfelt light so that everyone can feel the love and move their journeys forward, going beyond what they know into a new thought process, higher perspective of love. And so it is in love. Amen. Okay, so that's our centering prayer. And I want to begin, let's see, Wendy's here, let's let her in. I want to begin by telling you about the Lemurian, let's see, I'm going to mute everybody as they come. Mute all. Okay, there we go. Good. I want to tell everybody first about the energies of November, because I don't know if you've been feeling it or not. I have. It's a little bit of dicey energy right now. At least it has been for me. Fortunately, we have the tools of Lemurian wisdom, signature cell healing, the numerology, the goddess light, the 10 principles of consciously creating to help us through healing challenges on the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies. So imagine that the power of knowing the Lemurian wisdom that I learned from my mentor, Fred Sterling, and Master Guide Kiro. And so I'm grateful. And one of those tools is the Lemurian numerology. And you can find it in this book here, I got here, or the book back there. They all have a little bit of the numerology in it. It's also on my website, KarinnaNielsen.com. So the numerology for this month is a 2. Because the 11 reduces down to 1 digit. So in the Lemurian numerology, we go down to 1 digit and we get our guidance from that. So it brings our attention to the process of the third dimension that we all have to live in, right? So we have to live in this third dimension to do the mundane tasks that get us through a day or through whatever we're doing at work or anything like that. So we can rise above it. And that's what the 2 is telling us, is to balance the yin-yang energies and come to a higher level of love. And for me, that's the goddess light, the goddess love, the love within all of us, the love of Creator that allows us to elevate our awareness of what's going on. So you know there's a lot of yin-yang stuff going on right now, right? So what we can do, what we can choose to do is balance the yin yang, or balance that, oh, this is really right, or that's really wrong, or, you know, the good or the bad. Something that puts us into this polarity or this dualistic space, and breathe into it and elevate your perception to move these feelings of, you know, I'm pulled this way or I'm pulled that way, into a state of loving balance. And so this balance, excuse me, this balanced feeling of love will allow you to navigate through what might feel like unbalanced energies for this month. Because face it, folks, we're in the great shift, right? Which is what that book back there is all about. We're in the great shift, and it's challenging us personally in many, many ways. We see it reflected outside of us, and we always want to remember that what we see outside of us is a reflection of what's inside of us. And, you know, you might want to say, oh, yeah, really? But it's true. And if you can find the reflection, if you can find what it means for you personally, why are you feeling anger? Or why am I feeling that lack of balance? And find out what that means inside of you. You can supercharge your healing process. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I did that since I spoke to you last, because we had a very interesting energy of October. That was the month of creation. And that kind of is about balance too, because you're balancing on that number one. And also, what I'll also talk about in a minute is the eclipse portal that we're in right now. So there was an eclipse at the end of October, and the eclipse portal means between the two eclipses. There are always eclipses together. We first had a partial solar eclipse, and now on the 7th, 8th, that evening of November, we go into the total lunar eclipse, which is visible in Hawaii, and probably for those of you on the West Coast. It maybe even into North America a bit, but oh boy, it's a powerful eclipse, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. What I want to do now is get us a Lemurian prophecy card to represent this program. So I got my cards right here. This is my Lemurian prophecy cards, and I'm going to shuffle 5 times, because 5 is the energy of love, and we always want to put love in the cards. And you know, the Lemurian numerology is really fun. You can take your day, month, or your month, day, and year that you were born, and add them all together, and you will get your Lemurian life path number. So mine is a 5. So I'm always working on love, and it's a wonderful journey. Those of you who know me well know I have my challenges. So what you might want to do that right now, just figure out what is your Lemurian life path number if you don't already know it, and put it in the chat so we know what everybody's number is. I know we've got a 7 in there. Mahinaku is a 7. Sandra, I think you're a 3, right? Right, just go ahead and put it in the chat. And so while you're doing that, everybody put your energy right here into the cards. And we'll get a card that represents our program today. So I'm going to cut it in half. This is great. All right. So this will go beyond our, you know what this is actually? Okay, this is the Jack of Clubs. And if, excuse me, if you count the number the cards. The 9 is the 9, right? As you're counting through the cards, you have the numerology, right? Then you come to the 10. And after that is the Jack, right? So what do you think the Jack is as far as numerology goes? It's 11, just like this month. So we got the right card, folks. Thank you so much. Okay, so this is the Jack of Clubs, and the Jack in the Lemurian prophecy cards represents the child self. And the child self within us, we all have a child self within us that we're healing with, because when we're children, we have all kinds of very impactful things happen to us, or we experience many things, and a lot of that, some of it comes from past lives, some of it comes from this life. There's things that we put in our blueprint, our life blueprint, to heal, to come back and heal. And the child self is really important aspect of ourselves to heal with. So we brought up the child self, and I if anybody that resonates with anybody in particular, please, raise your hand or go ahead and put in the chat. When it's the clubs, there are 4 suits, right? So the diamonds is the physical, the hearts is the emotional body, the spades is the spiritual body, and the clubs is the mental body. So I read this card as the child self that likes to dream, the dreamer, the vision holder. So I think it's a great reminder that in order to go beyond what we know, we have to have a vision for where we want to go. And this is what I was kind of talking with my husband about before the program. I said, what would you want to know? And he said, how do we know what's right for us? How do we know what to do? And the thing is, you need to know yourself what you want in order to create a vision for where you're going to go, right? So if you just think to yourself, I really want a better life, what does that really mean for you personally? So this card here, I think, is a really good reminder that we all need a vision for what do we want to consciously create in our lives. And that's can be such an important aspect to moving forward and going beyond where we are right now. So Sandra has shared something here. It says, interestingly, you've been picking the Jack or child self for maybe 3 readings consecutively. Really? I didn't realize that. Thank you, Sandra. I think it's perfect. It's probably for me, Sandra. I'm as the purple goddess, right, in the Lemurian goddess colors, the purple goddess is the vision holder. So I'm the holder of the vision for our great shift and where we're going. So it's about us moving beyond the 3rd dimensional awareness and going into new dimensions of love that are higher vibrating, a higher frequency of love. And, ideally, isn't that what we want to do? Rise up above where we are now. Susan's coming in, we'll let her in. Rising up above where we are now in order to consciously create, release the limits that we place upon ourselves and saying, oh, I could never have that, or that would never work, and create it with a vision for, what is it that you want? So I don't want to go off on that topic yet, but I do want to say that we got our Lemurian prophecy card, and I also want to remind you that the channeling for this month with Master Imhotep was about the going beyond what you know. And you can catch that in the wisdom section under channel guidance in my website, KarinnaNielsen.com. Or you can also get on my newsletter, and there you'll get the link as soon as the channeling comes out. So Sandra, what do you think that means, that I picked the Jack or the child self consecutively for 3 times? How do you feel about that? Right? Because you've been on the program the last 3 times, right?
Well, I
Okay,
don't have a detailed analysis, but it does seem like we're being inspired to think about our child self. Simply that.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Right.
can't
And, you know,
remember
the
each
child
thing.
self. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Sandra. When you when you get in touch with your child self, you know, if you have children or grandchildren, when children are young, until you tell them, they don't have any limits, right? They'll go touch a hot stove or whatever, you know, or do something that might be detrimental. But on the other hand, they're dreamers, you know, they imagine, they create in their imaginary worlds. I mean, at least I did. And that's a beautiful space to be in, because we do live in a limitless world when we choose to see it that way. If we choose to see a limit on something, then it's there because we put it there. But if you choose to release the limits on what you can do and what you can heal, by the way, because this is the Healing Moments program. So I want to tell you a little bit before we go on into that, go beyond what you know, because I actually did that this past 2 or 3 weeks, where I had a diagnosis. And the diagnosis is something that a lot of older women like me get, and that's osteoporosis, right? And arthritis. And so I took a deep dive into that, and I've had that diagnosis for a while. But what I discovered was that it was really causing a lot of pain. And so what I did, it really amplified in the last 2-3 weeks. And what I did was take a real deep dive into it. And I went into something I also learned, of course, in Signature Cell Healing, we have the 5-breath self-healing meditation. And so I'm doing that just like the 5-breath, you take 5 breaths here, 5 breaths at your eyes, 5 breaths at your heart, 5 breaths at the 3rd chakra, and 5 breaths at the 2nd chakra. And I'm doing that 2 to 3 times a day. I'm getting my signature cell healings. And what happens when you engage a diagnosis, or you engage that with meditation, with the 10 principles of consciously creating, you're asking yourself, what is the truth of what's going on for me right now? And that's kind of what I did. I engaged the truth, the trust, the passion. I got my clarity, communication with my healers, with my physical therapist, with my doctor. I mean, I did everything. And that's just me. I'm a Sun conjunct Venus in Aries, and I got all this fire, and I'm going for it. So I engaged everything, and I took a real deep dive. And another thing that I learned in the shamanic astrology that I practice is we can experience our lives in the 3 worlds, and that's a shamanic experience. And this will take us into the eclipse portal that I wanted to talk about. There are 3 worlds that we live in. We live in this middle world, which is the yin-yang, the dimension, this 3rd dimensional world that we have to engage in every day. There's a celestial world, a higher level where our higher selves are and we can go to in meditation. And then there's an underworld. There's a deep dive into our healing. And in the shamanic, or I call it Lemurian astrology, what we experience is that we experience with Pluto and Chiron in the underworld. The middle world is Jupiter and Saturn, if you guys are astrologers. And then the upper world is Uranus and Neptune. So when you look at the eclipse, and I got that, the eclipse on the 7th and the 8th. It's dicey, folks. So I figured out where it is for me, and it's a real dicey layout, and it's very challenging, and it's very underworld. So I know in my personal journey, because I've been engaged in it for about 25 years now, that that I'm having an underworld experience right now with this particular diagnosis and my healing in it. And just yesterday, I had a huge breakthrough. And I'm sitting here talking to you without pain, folks. And I'm feeling much stronger. And I really do believe that when there's pain in your physical life, you are in that underworld healing experience. And we put these things in our blueprint to experience. Sometimes they're past lives, sometimes it's this life. It's things that we brought here to heal. And I know that's what it is for me. And I also know it's about me doing the healing journey so I can tell you about it, much like my mentor, Kaku Fred. You bring that healing into the middle world experience, and then you get the insights from the celestial world, and you do that through meditation. So of course, for me, meditation practice, like Master Imhotep likes to say, is non-negotiable right now. You need a meditation practice, whether it's in the morning or the evening, preferably both, to begin. If you haven't begun already, start with 5 minutes or 10 minutes and focus on your breathing. Do that 5-breath self-healing meditation, which you can find on signaturecellhealing.com. And I am a signature cell healing practitioner and a workshop facilitator. So you can find a lot of information about this beautiful Lemurian healing modality on signaturecellhealing.com. And this is something that Kahu Fred Sterling, who's a real master healer, brought to us, brought to all of us, brought it forward for our great shift on the earth plane. So I'm going to take a breath a moment and let you make comments or anything. I'm looking at the chat and I'm seeing what the numerology we have in here. We got a 3 from Sandra. We got a 7 from Aldine. Tatiana, what do you get when you add up all those numbers? Let's see, that's a 1, that's a 1, that's a 2, that's a 7. You're a 7, Tatiana. Awesome. So your 7 is the number for transition. So you're looking for change. Sometimes when you feel like it's not moving forward, you get stuck, or you feel stuck in experience. So it's important for you to continue moving forward all the time. Let's see, who else got their number? Oh, Wendy's also a 3. Okay, good. Very good. Okay, so Jan is a 5 too. Thank you, Jan. I love company. I don't know very many 5s. I think this is great. Right. So, that's part of the healing, right? So if you are married or you have kids and you think maybe, that relationship is a little dicey, or maybe it's going really well and you wonder, why is this so good? Then take your husband or your spouse's number, find out the birth number, and add them together. Add your number with your spouse's number together and find out what you get. And that will give you a great indication to the journey that you're on with your partner, any kind of partner. And like, for example, my husband is a 1. And anybody that knows my husband knows he is creating all the time. That's the 1 number. He's creating all the time. He created this house. He created all, lots. Oh my goodness. So that our challenge together is 6. It's mastery. So we're mastering relationships together, because it's yeah, it's a long journey. We've been together for 30 years and I'm still learning. So that's what we come here to do, right? I mean, relationships are a huge part of our journey in this great shift. So what I'm going to take a breath and let you ask any questions that you like based on, you know, what I've said so far. We are coming into that eclipse portal. And here's what I did. You see, this is what it looks like for me. I take the eclipse on the outside, and on the inside is my blueprint, my life plan. So when I was born, I created that blueprint as my healing journey for this particular lifetime. And when you lay the eclipse on top of it, you can see where the potential challenges or where you might feel it. And it's really all about healing for me, and, you know, letting go of, you know, previous thought patterns I might have had, to really delve deeply into the healing. And I feel like I'm made a breakthrough a couple of days ago. Actually, yesterday was a big breakthrough. And you know how I got a sign that I think I made a breakthrough beyond, you know, not being in pain. That's a really big sign. I went to go to the drugstore to pick up something, just something quick, birthday cards or something, I don't know. Get out of my car, and right next to me is one of the local news stations. And it's a cameraman, and he's setting up in the parking lot. And I was laughing because that's the channel I watch the news on here locally. And so I just said to him, what's going on? Is there some kind of news around here? You know, because we got a small town here. And I just wondered. And he goes, oh, wait, do you want to answer some questions? So I got on the news, long story short, just to talk about voting. Okay, my feeling about voting. And in our state, in Hawaii, it's for me, it's a very easy process. It's vote by mail. And you know, the questions he asked me, I wouldn't have even been standing there 5 days before. I would have waved him off, because that's how much pain I was in, and I wouldn't want to talk to anybody. But because I felt so good, I was able to stand there and smile and actually give intelligible answers. So I really felt that was a really good sign for me, beyond talking about voting, which is what everybody's talking about right now, right? But and that's a whole nother topic. And there we can really get into the energy of this month, which is, by the way, this eclipse is on election day for the United States. So it's a really important time to stay in our hearts and to go into meditation. And when if you feel angry, and if you feel upset or something is bothering you, get into meditation and ask, what does that mean for me? And, you know, I've noticed some people recently, in, you know, friends, or, you know, they're angry. They're actually angry at whatever out there. What you name it, fill in the blank. There's plenty to get angry about. They're actually getting angry, and they're throwing out a lot of blame. And when you're in that space of blaming other people for what you're feeling, you're going to hold yourself back. You're going to hold yourself back from any potential movement forward. And it's so powerful if you can engage the energies that are all around you, especially in relationships, the ones closest to you. Those are the ones that are going to challenge you the most. So if you can get into, what is it for me? What do I need to know? Why am I feeling angry? What is it? And it's hard. Let me tell you, it can be really hard. But if you can do it, you'll have incredible progress in your healing. Yeah, don't you feel? I mean, have you folks experienced that too? Because once you engage the energies, the potential for healing is just awesome, right? Okay, so I'm kind of rattling on, but please feel free to come on and make a comment or, engage with that. We have this lunar eclipse on the 7th to the 8th. And if you want to see where it is for you on your blueprint, you can just, send me an email, Karinna@KarinnaNielsen.com, and we'll get you signed up for a reading, or we can do a healing session. I do distance healing, or here locally in Kailua. So we're talking a little bit about the channeling, which everybody go check that out on my website, because I thought it was a really powerful channeling, and Master Imhotep doesn't pull any punches. Master Imhotep is a pretty tough character, and I love him. And he really wants us to know how deeply we are in this great shift. And that's why it does look so dicey out there sometimes. Yeah. So with that said, okay, Wendy, yeah, raising your hand. Go ahead, Wendy.
You mentioned, Karinna, when you have a diagnosis, well, in your case, you really engaged that diagnosis. So can you just explain a little bit about what engaging would look like? I mean, you mentioned things you're
Right.
doing. I suppose that's it, or?
Well, the first thing I did was get into meditation, and that's how I engage the diagnosis. And you engage. It doesn't have to be a diagnosis. It can be anything you're engaging. Maybe you're, like I said, somebody's angry. You're feeling particularly challenged by something, and you don't know the answer. You're grappling for the answer. But there is a way to find out the answer, and that's getting your own answer, getting into meditation. And the meditation might not give you your answer right away. You have to keep, that's why I say engaging it. You have to keep walking towards it. Thank you for this question, Wendy. You have to keep walking toward it. So I meditated, and I determined that I had gone to my doctor, right? Because I was feeling pain in my body. And we as signature cell healers, we're not doctors. We don't diagnose, and we don't cure and things like that. We are healers, and we heal on the physical, emotional, mental, and the spiritual bodies. So that's why I knew I had a physical problem, or I'm working with it. Physical problem that came through the 4 bodies. So as a signature cell healer, I know it starts in the blueprint. I put these energies in my blueprint for this lifetime. And there's a lot of them, because this is a cleanup life for me. I want to get everything done, and then I'm not coming back here anymore. This is my last lifetime, folks. So I mean, I'm hoping, I'm praying. So the spiritual, it goes into the mental. And so you've got this, maybe you get an idea, okay, I could have this, problem, or I know this from my past lives. I brought in something to heal. And then it goes into the emotional body, where you're going to start to feel it. And then it drops into the physical body. And then you really notice it. Because, for example, if somebody has cancer, you notice that, right? I mean, my husband had this journey as well. You engage that in different ways. So most people engage it by going to a doctor and getting treatment there. And that's one level of healing. But I suggest that you engage what's going on for you, whatever it is on the physical level, on multiple avenues. One is get your signature cell healer, get your doctor, get your team together. I have a physical therapist now. I have healers. I have 3 healers. I have 2 doctors. So I'm maybe more engaged than most, but I really do want to heal. And I think that's the most important thing. That's the thing I ask the people who come here to see me for healing. do you really want to heal? And I want to hear back from them. Yes, I do. I don't want to hear this kind of like, well, maybe, yeah, I think so. No, I want you to be passionate about your healing, because you can heal anything. You can heal everything. And, you know, Kahu Fred Sterling has always said that you can heal everything in love. And this time, now after this, I really believe him. I really believe him, because I really got into it and I worked with it. So I can see the pathway forward. And that's how you engage it, is just using everything in your toolkit, including the 10 principles, which meditation is a part, masterminding, truth, trust, passion. What's the truth of this on all levels? You know, do I trust myself to do this journey? And then, you know, there's going to be all kinds of things that come up in front of you. You're going to ask, please light my path. Please show me the next step. And then you pay attention to that person that shows up, or, you know, the doctor says, okay, in your insurance, you can have physical therapy. Like me, and I'm like, go, I'm gonna go. I've never been before. What's this like? So, I mean, and that gave me really good insights into how I needed to change my lifestyle. So I actually feel like I have almost like a new physical body, because I had to make some really big changes. And you've got to be like, who are our sevens in here? Tatiana and Aldine, you got to be willing to change. You make those changes and create the life. So the other thing is also the vision, right? I had a vision for what I wanted to be able to do. I want to be able to walk without pain. I want to be able to sit without pain. I want to sit comfortably and be able to do the things that I want to do for this last part of my life. You know, I feel we live in 3/3 according to our Saturn return, right? So you have from when you're born until you're 29-30, from when you're 29-30 until you're 59-60, and then on into your 90s. And those are the 3 phases, I think, according to the Saturn returns of our lives. So here I am in the 3rd one. So I hope that answers, Wendy. I know you have definitely engaged your journey in really beautiful ways. So thank you for that question. Anybody else, just go ahead and click and raise your hand, and be sure and go back and listen to or read that meditation, because it's really awesome. And I also want to say that this recording will be on my YouTube channel, and you can sign up for to subscribe, so you get a notification whenever the recordings are posted, and then you'll know. Right. So let's see. Do we have any other questions? Tatiana, did you unmute?
No, I
Raise your hand.
I'm raising it. You know, I'm a little bit confused. You know, I'm a new person in your group and I love it. How do you calculate your Lemurian number? My number goes to 25 if I add all my numbers.
Right.
How
So-
yeah.
That's
Then you put 2 and 5.
That's perfect. Then you put 2 and 5 together, because
And I have 7.
Lemurian numerology only has 1 digit.
And I have 7. Okay, I got it. Right now I got it.
Yeah, it's perfect. And how do you feel about being a 7?
I always feel good about myself.
Very good. Very good answer.
It doesn't matter what number.
How does it manifest for you?
It's hard to say.
Are you engaged in a lot of different changes?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Since I start practicing it, and I started like 4 years ago, started with Reiki, and then went more and more and more. And I have very good master. She's in Germany, but she's helping us. She's just guiding me, and I feel great.
Oh, that's awesome. That is a great thing for a 7, is to, you know, always look for the next step, right? Look for something new and keep changing. So I give you a lot of credit for that, Tatiana. That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you so much. Okay, so I would like us to go ahead and do, because we're running out of time, do a meditation. And this meditation came from that channeling with Master Imhotep. So we're gonna meditate to go beyond what you know. Isn't that great? That's perfect for this. So everybody take some nice deep breaths and get ready to close your eyes, whatever that means for you, if you have to put something away or do anything. And I'm going to get my cheat sheet here for the meditation. Okay, so everybody just begin breathing. This is a meditation to go beyond what you know and elevate your awareness beyond what you think you know. So start breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And just start to feel the golden particles of light above your crown chakra. And just breathe in and draw them down into your heart chakra. And then exhale through your mouth. And as you continue breathing, just start to see yourself expanding. Just expanding. Your energy is going out from your physical body into your emotional body, into your mental and spiritual bodies. Keep breathing and just feel this beautiful light surrounding you. Feel the love. And as you do, in your mind's eye, start to feel your energy rising up above from where you're sitting to about 15, 20 feet, just about, 15, 20 feet, about 5 meters above your body. And you get up there and it's beautiful. You feel light and airy. And I want you to turn around now and look down on your physical body. Turn around and see yourself sitting there. And see yourself enveloped in light. And look at yourself and just feel the love and gratitude for you, for who you are right now, for everyone in your journey. So see yourself like a shining bright light. Now feel the gratitude for everything in your life right now. Imagine the last beautiful sunrise or sunset that you saw. And imagine a friend that smiled to you, or maybe you've got a pet, like a dog or a cat that you love really dearly, and just see them and just feel gratitude and love. And then see the people in your life, your family, your friends, your neighbors, your co-workers. Some of them might represent challenges for you, but see them now from this higher perspective. Also, each one a shining light, just like you. They're a light from the love of creation, and they're on a beautiful healing journey, just like you. So see them and send a line of love from your heart to each one that you're imagining now, that you're seeing now in your meditation. And just feel your love connect with them. And understand, go beyond what you know and understand a higher perspective on the part they're playing in your life right now. What is it for you? What are they mirroring for you? What is the love that they're showing you in whatever way that they know, in whatever way that was an agreement before you each incarnated? So just feel the love and the acceptance for where you are in the moment. And now See yourself going beyond that. Imagine and create a vision for what you'd like to go beyond. Would you like to go beyond a physical ailment, a disease? Would you like to go beyond emotional trauma? Would you like to go beyond mental anger or stress? And just see yourself going beyond what you know is human, and see your life from a higher perspective of love, and know that you can create the change you'd like to see, the change that you see now in your vision. What are your healing goals? What are your relationship goals? How about professional goals? Imagine your higher self shining a light on your pathway in front of you forward to help you find the way to achieve your goals. And see yourself as a spiritual being having a human experience. Go beyond what you think you know and be open to the limitless possibilities available to you. See your next steps forward and see them in love from your heart. So now breathe and take this vision into your heart and begin to slowly return to where we began. How does that feel? Are you coming back now? Everybody back? Okay. Any shares from the meditation? Did anybody see somebody they were surprised to see in the meditation? Maybe somebody you hadn't seen in a while, or realized something that you needed to see. There should be some kind of a thing there's too many people for me to see you actually raise your hand, but there's a thing you push to raise your hand if you can, or you can put it in the chat. In any case, who's that? Somebody, Sandra, where are you?
Hi. Oh, well, actually, before the meditation, you confirmed for me what I've been working on my path, and that is relinquishing blame, because this mother figure, mothers have this way, whether it's good or bad.
Yes.
It is interesting, it's like it does not always seem to be in a positive way, but it is at a higher level, a pedantic, is that the word? They can play a teacher's role, even if it's
Definitely.
negative oriented, to teach us. So because that on a higher plane, outside of our physical existence, we don't blame each other. So if we could raise to that level, even though that party in playing that role is blaming me or others, she's teaching us not to do that. So that is that took me many years to realize.
Yes.
And very possibly you did contribute to that. So as I've been trying to tell you, you've been helping me, because I'm not one to blame others. We're not supposed to accuse people blindly. But if that's being imposed upon us, and then we find out, well, who's causing this to happen? Oh, that person might actually be scapegoating us. So why is that happening? So how do we not blame that person?
Wow, Sandra, you
So,
do my heart. You do my heart well right here in hearing you share like that, because you've come a long way. You have,
well, yeah.
it's
So
just beautiful.
the way out is to not blame. It literally is to figure out, okay, well, what do I have to do? What literally, like you taught us, in one way or another, like you said today, I forget exactly how it went. What do we have to do? The other party is reflecting on us, what we're not necessarily totally consciously realizing within ourselves. But, so what do we have to do to get out of the situation, the experience that we feel in which we feel trapped? We
Wow.
have to figure out we cannot change somebody else. Sometimes we cannot even communicate with that party because they're being that difficult. So what do we have to do? And I did finally figure it out recently. I don't even know if I shared that part, but you helped me. I did have a breakthrough, in September, maybe? I forget. I haven't even followed through with it yet. So I
Oh,
don't know if
wow.
it's gonna work, but if it doesn't work, then it really does fall on them, because they have to then make the next move, that other party.
Okay,
So
Sandra.
yes.
Yeah,
What-
let me just say one thing here. Thank you. First of all, thank you so much for sharing that. Your breakthrough is my breakthrough, obviously. And I feel so honored to hear the level of love that you've come to there. And you're saying, what do we have to do? I got it right up here. It's love. That's all we have to do, is be in love with ourselves and in love with everything around me. So you've come to a new level of going beyond what you know. You're just like you're my poster child for going beyond what you know. Thank you so much. Because yes, mothers, other people in our lives, are especially close family relationships, are there because we agreed before we incarnated that those people would be our parents, that those people would be our brothers and sisters. And we have a journey with those people until we don't, until for some reason they're going to leave our lives, or we're going to love them so much that the journey shifts. And on our whole perspective, we go beyond what we think we know into the new level of love awareness. So it's not over, Sandra, because it's never over until we get off this earth plane, right? So I'm at a new level of love. I mean, I had a journey with my mother as well, and it didn't really shift until she got really ill at the end of her life, and I became kind of like her healer, and I wasn't exactly her caregiver, but I was her on the spot daughter that was there for her all the time. And also my father. And my relationship with my parents growing up was not pleasant for me personally. It might have been for them, but I didn't make their lives very easy. And so in the end, our roles shifted. And I learned so much about healing from my parents. So there's so much that we can learn from each other because we set it up that way. And I'm not telling you anything you don't know, Sandra. You set it up in your blueprint. And so you're the answer to something you asked there. What do? We do the 10 principles. And the 10 principles means we keep asking ourselves, what is the truth? What is the truth about what's happening to me right now? And then you go through the other principles until you get to the 4 pillars, which is prayer, meditation, sleep state programming, and masterminding. And you sleep state with that person. And if you don't know what that means, you can go to my website and look for the 10 principles. You sleep state with that person's higher self, your higher self to their higher self. You pray for enlightenment or love or what you want, and you meditate to hear the answers to your prayers. And you don't have to engage with that person on a one-on-one basis, like you said. You go beyond that, what we know in the physical world, and you use the power of the Lemurian wisdom to move your journey through. You are healing yourself and you're aging your soul, which is what signature cell healing is all about. We're healing what we put in the blueprint and what the challenges we have in our lives, and everything can be healed in love, healing the self, and thereby we're aging our soul. We're becoming older souls as we are incarnate and going through this great shift. So, I mean, thank you, Sandra, for that. That's like the icing on the cake right here. Anybody else? Can anybody top that one? That
No,
was
one more little comment, Karinna. Like several months ago, I usually never get anything this brief, but it seemed like a message. I don't know where it came from, but it was simply finish what you started.
wow.
So that was a wow for me. Yeah.
Wow, put that one in the eclipse portal.
And it could, and it
Yeah,
could have,
really. You know,
and it could
because
have,
eclipse portals are openings, right? They're openings, they're windows opening where you get a new level of clarity. That's what an eclipse, I mean, spiritually, that's what an eclipse represents. Of course, in this one, we've got, which is so perfect, folks. I just want to throw this in here, Sandra, and this might help you too. We've got, okay, so I'm looking at the lunar eclipse, right? And the lunar eclipse is the sun on one side and the moon exactly opposite. And we on Earth are in between. So you're going to see the shadow, the Earth's shadow go over the moon. And for us, it'll be complete. It'll be a total lunar eclipse and you'll have that blood red moon. And that right there is chicken skin, right? This time of the year anyway, when we're in this Samhain, the Halloween energies, the Scorpio time, when all the veils are very thin. So you see that and you know that you're between the sun and the moon and you're balancing. It's a perfect balance where we're in this portal of energy that opens up and allows us to feel what we need to feel and to get insights into, you know, how can we go beyond what we know? Because it's a portal opening to go beyond what you know, to go beyond the physical world. So I hope for us, it's around 1 in the morning when it's exact. You know, wherever you are, I hope you have at least, you can program yourself into the eclipse, even if you're not somewhere where you can visually see it. You can go into meditation at the time of the eclipse or before and just program yourself into that eclipse. And when you get up in the morning, do an automatic writing. That means you're going to have a piece of paper there and you're going to write out the first thing. You go into meditation, do your 5 breath self-healing meditation, breathe, and then you ask, what do I need to know from this eclipse? And then start writing. Don't judge it and don't use your left hand. Don't just write. Okay. I hate that right left thing. I can't do it. So just write what you're feeling. And this is, you know, this is channeling. You're channeling your higher self or your guidance. And it's a really powerful way to get some of your answers. Okay. So we've gone on a little bit longer, but I really have enjoyed this program so very much. I hope you have too. And we'll be back in December on the first Saturday, which I think is the 3rd. It'll be on my website. Please sign up for my newsletters on KarinnaNielsen.com, and you'll get all the information that's coming up for the next month. I also do the astrology readings, of course, and the Lemurian goddess readings. So check that out on my website. We have new lower prices. I'm also very grateful to the Sedona Journal of Emergence, who published my channeling again in the 2023 predictions issue, which is the double issue for November and December. And Master Imhotep is in there with the predictions for 2023. So go in there and support the Sedona Journal, because they're a great group of people there in Flagstaff, Arizona. I love them. And you can also see me tomorrow at the Honolulu Church of Light Sunday healing service. I'll be there talking about the 5 breath self-healing meditation and demonstrating it. So come on, go to honoluluchurchoflight.com and you'll see the link to join us live on YouTube. Once again, it's been a wonderful time. Remember, next month, the program will be at 11 a.m. Pacific and 2 p.m. Eastern, because Hawaii doesn't go on daylight savings time. We're always on Hawaiian time. Okay, so it's so wonderful to be with you. Please email me at KarinnaNielsen.com. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much. And we say aloha, aloha from Kailua. Love you all very much. Bye-bye.
Aloha.